is Groot. I am Groot. Kanye did what?
Do you think Groot directly quoted the stuff Kanye was saying? Like, stuff Groot is not allowed to say? I mean, it's not like we'd ever know, and if I'm being honest, I highly doubt Rocket is the type to tell us. Hi again, guys, and I am really feeling the deja vu. This is, what, round 2 of that Kanye went off the deep end video I made a few years back now, which still has one of my all-time craziest thumbnails, but it's one that I just don't think would have had the same oomph if I recreated it today. And I mean, that's because, haven't we been here before? If somehow you missed it a week or so ago, Kanye had probably his most explosive Twitter crash out today. He went on a multiple days-long tirade, basically doubling down on every controversial take he has ever had and miraculously recovered from in the last decade, and managed to exclude all the cool ones he's had, like what he thought about George Bush. But he did add some new ones to the mix. These tweets are all gone now, but not because he got banned for saying some heinous and hateful stuff. It's Elon's Twitter after all. Rather because Kanye chose to deactivate his account of his own free will. Of course, archives exist of everything he said, but I gotta be honest, everything he was saying doesn't really feel as shocking as it used to. He went harder than he ever has before, but the most it got out of me was a deep and discontented sigh. His antics have really just lost the ability to gut punch me. The strongest emotional reaction it evoked out of me was laughing at other people saying, "What a moron," in variously funny ways. Don't get me wrong, it doesn't make what he said any better or any more excusable, but the Yeezy train got to the Hitler was a good guy stop over 2 years ago. Back then, it was shocking. It was an escalation of what he had been talking about. The news that years ago he apparently wanted to name an album after Hitler was an oh shit, no way kind of revelation. But nowadays we have hindsight. Back then, Kanye had already been saying progressively dumber stuff, but he wasn't past the point of no return for most people. That was until suddenly he was making Alex Jones look like the sane person in a room. He was saying how much he loved the Fuhrer, which did surprise me, I'll give you that. For me now though, I guess I'm mostly surprised at how many people were surprised by that. The closest thing to an apology Kanye ever gave was saying that watching Jonah Hill in 21 Jump Street made him like Jewish people again, all while saying lyrics in songs like, "How am I anti-Semitic? I just fucked a Jewish bitch." You cracked the code, Kanye. That's the way out of this. I don't know how else to say it. Anti-Semitism is bad. Being a Nazi is bad. I know, very brave stance for me. What is this, the 4th time I've used that for that exact same argument in a video? But the fact of the matter is that saying that barely scratches the surface of what Kanye was saying during this tirade. He made sure that no individual was left out of his crosshairs. If you were still rocking with him even up till now, he made sure to say the most diverse range of explosive shit he could, so any and everybody could have their own personal reason they could no longer tolerate him. And I mean everybody. The breaking point for a lot of people was when multiple times, either directly or through implication, Kanye tweeted, "Fuck Virgil." If you don't know, Virgil Abloh was a prolific name and face in fashion who passed away in 2021. He has worked closely with Kanye throughout pretty much his entire career and is still held in high regard by a lot of Kanye's fans and in the industry. He's a legend. So talking down on his name, especially after he passed, was a bridge too far for some. And I miss Virgil too, don't get me wrong. I loved a lot of his work, but that being the line and not the Nazi shit kind of perplexes me. But that doesn't even like reach the extent of what Kanye was on. He was legit a cartoon supervillain at times. I turned down 3 photos this week with Make-A-Wish kids in wheelchairs. That's straight up stealing candy from a baby level shit, but worse. I'm personally okay with stealing candy from babies, but Kanye added in wheelchairs to that sentence like rejecting a Make-A-Wish kid wasn't mustache-twirlingly shitty enough on its own. Not only are these kids fighting for their lives, but they can't even stand up while they do it. Isn't that fucked up of me? It was so hard to predict what tangent he was gonna hop onto next that any fake screenshot of a Kanye tweet warranted at least a second glance of, shit, did he really say that? Hand on my heart, I thought that fuck little big planet tweet was real, and even though it's not, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a real opinion that Kanye holds. For a lot of folks, since 2022 and all this Yadolf Hitler stuff popped off, the phrase, "he made graduation," was the mantra you had to repeat to yourself if Kanye has ever meant something to you, which was tough for me because Graduation isn't my favorite Kanye album. I was a Yeezus truther before disaster struck, but even for the most die-hard of Kanye fans, "He Made Graduation" has felt like a limited resource that has been getting burnt from both ends over the last few years because of the sheer amount of things Kanye has been doing to give people something to cope with. As of a few days, Kanye, unfortunately, reactivated his account, so there might be more going on soon, but the original tweets are still gone. But I'm not gonna lie, the way that some tweet archives have been organizing them is cracking me up, even if it shouldn't. The master post of all of these on r/hiphopheads, containing transcripts and context for the majority of Kanye's tweets, is divided into parts like it's a multi-act drama. Just listen to these names. Part 1, the Diddy Defender. Now that I read that, it feels like something I should have mentioned at the start. Yeah, the first step on Kanye's journey into hell was him tweeting, "Free Puff!" And over the days that followed, it did not seem like he wavered in his position on that matter at all. I think the one thing that people were holding out hope for with Kanye is like, man, all that anti-Semitic stuff is bad, but at least he's not coming to the defense of alleged sex pests. To which Kanye replied, "@real Donald Trump, please free my brother Puff." Damn near quoting that guy in his car praying, "If you can hear me, Donald Trump, please save me. Donald Trump, please save us." And also, whoever posted that Reddit archive manually changed it from @real Donald Trump, like it is on Twitter, to u/real Donald Trump. You know, like they do on Reddit. Shit's killing me, I don't know why. Don't worry though, I won't ponder on it that long, because Kanye was not even close to done at this point. "Puff, we love you," he said. He apparently tweeted a draft of the Ty Dolla $ign Wheels Fall Off that Kanye features on, and in this unreleased version, until now, he says, "Free Puff Daddy," and that's not even all he has said on this subject, in this part alone. He doubles down on it more later, but Kanye was also sure to add a few new targets to the fire. I'm not gonna go into depth with literally every single tweet, but I hope that establishes the extent he's willing to go to, as well as contextualizing that the majority of shit he was saying was stuff like that. Anti-Semitism, supporting Diddy, calling gay people gay and slurs, and then randomly he'd get sidetracked like a dog seeing a car and go on a completely different tangent. Which sucks, because it's stuff that if tweeted in a vacuum, you could almost laugh at the absurdity of. I don't listen to rap. I don't know who the fuck is rapping anymore. Miles is like my favorite artist. I'm a 47-year-old billionaire. Why the hell would I listen to rap? There's not one piece of information in rap that benefits my agendas or helps me get money. If it was in literally any other context, I would be applauding a major name giving a massive endorsement to Miles as an artist. But Kanye is A, a Nazi, and B, hasn't put out a good album since Donda. Clearly, whatever he's getting inspiration from now is not fucking working. Vultures 1 and 2 are ass! Now, this next string of tweets happened in the space of 3 minutes, and I think the issue, when you look at them all together, is how at odds the words that comprise them are at with each other, and also the context of Kanye being the guy saying them. "I don't take photos except for when I take photos. I pay men and women to laugh at my jokes. No rich guy is truly funny. Being funny is for broke boys who want to distract you from the fact that they are broke and trying to get bitches to fuck for free." Kanye is objectively rich and has been rich for a while. So if rich dudes can't be funny, how do you explain this next line? I hate when I'm on a flight and I wake up with a water bottle next to me like, oh great, now I gotta be responsible for this water bottle. I don't bring up this little bit of nostalgia to signal, remember how cool and funny Kanye used to be? Or to say that Kanye is dead and everything that we're seeing now isn't Kanye. I mean the opposite, actually. This is the same person who, through circumstance and choices they made, have ended up in the pit they've helped to dig for themselves. Billions of dollars can buy you all the material comforts in the world, but if you chronically need mass attention and aren't getting it the way you used to, I personally believe you can get less picky about the type of attention you'll settle for over time. And some people will risk losing the long-term attention of large swaths of people just to get any at all. I paid $1.5 million for my Grammys ads this year. Let's see if Fox gives that money back. You gonna give that money for my opinions? Then stand on it. And I mean, it appears that Fox decided to keep the money because another of Kanye's Super Bowl ads that he recorded on his iPhone telling you to go to his website to buy his merch aired during the Super Bowl. I'm not gonna show it here, but he was literally just selling a shirt with a swastika on it. Straight up. That got advertised during the Super Bowl. It's one of the only times I've seen an item pulled directly by Shopify on such a mass scale. And I don't want to misrepresent myself. I don't know the ins and outs of what getting a Super Bowl ad is like, how far in advance Kanye had bought that airtime or submitted the commercial for approval, or if there were logistics that made it infeasible for Fox to pull Kanye's ad before the Super Bowl aired, even with all the shit he had said just a few days prior. But all that said, it's still wild that it made it to air, considering what the eyeballs of viewers who went to Kanye's website were greeted with when they opened it. Like, you have to ask, did Fox know what they were promoting? Like, do they require you to tell them what you're promoting ahead of time? Or is it like, if the ad itself is clean, they just let it fly? I have no idea, but shit is weird regardless, and it's a stain. Now, these next few tweets, I believe, are the first time Kanye figured out how to turn off caps lock during this entire thing. Up till now, you probably really got the distinct impression that Kanye was screaming at you, but when he gets into his indoor text voice and starts saying the same type of shit he was before, it really sets in that, yeah, I knew he was gone, but now I'm certain about it. I got in the shower and thought of like 6 tweets. Let me see what I can remember. The ones he ended up tweeting were all praising Hitler. I don't care to reread them right now. And after reading them, it's like, how can you not think he's being inflammatory on purpose? A reaction is what he wants, and on some level, me making a video like this covering it may give him satisfaction in that way, but it's really only in that way. He doesn't make more money off like this outrage marketing than he would have if he just continued to make good music. This is the only way he can still get that, it seems. Because of how he is now, I don't know if Kanye is capable of making music that moves me anymore in the way that it used to. And even if he can, he's doubled down so hard on the worst shit imaginable that it's like, will I even care to check if he can the next time he tries to? Like I said, this kind of attention he's getting is explosive in that it's big at the start, and then it quiets down. And when this dies down, it's likely that it will still be talked about, but only in whispers. What are the odds on Kanye having an album even better than Dark Twisted Fantasy that helps him get out of this kerfuffle? Seriously, he's been so down in the dumps that he was beefing with career Twitter posters and losing. He managed to get ratioed and BTFO'd by infamous boxer Korn on more than one occasion. Like, it seemed like Kanye was refreshing that dude's Twitter page to see what he said next, that type of behavior. Given a lot of us were doing that with Kanye, but at least that has precedent. Kanye doing it for what should be a random Twitter account? It just seems a little more pathetic than us, the laymen, doing that for him. Those are objectively double standards, but I still believe in it. This is what Korn said anyways. Wow, just heard the news. Rest in peace, Kanye. I do think it's kind of telling that this was one of the only tweets that got a response from a Kanye, let alone being Korn getting more than one from him. We'll get to that, but Kanye said in reply to that tweet, "You corny and broke." And just like that, all the bets were off. Us Twitter bums are fucking sad. That's the first thing you gotta know. We all know that Kanye is richer than us, and he's practically invincible because of that. He has more material wealth than any of us will ever touch, probably even combined, but having that kind of money used to make you untouchable as well. And it still can. But nowadays, if you choose to be on Twitter actively saying things, you suddenly become accessible to the common man. And most of the time, it feels like if you're replying to a celebrity, it's like a man screaming at a cloud. But when said public figure comes down to your level and starts replying to your reply, they're certainly within the rights to do so, but if they slip up even the slightest, cooking them back is the closest thing to catharsis us plebeians will ever get. Korn said, "Hitler would have hated you, bald fuck. Get off that dick." I think the usage of bald to insult Kanye is kind of new, but, makes a little sense, and really helped carry this one. And it doubles down on Kanye being the most useless player in the Kendrick versus Drake beef. You called a Twitter user corny. Like, no shit, we knew that, but it was a Twitter user named Korn, no less. And you thought it would rally people to anybody other than their side? I don't think I've seen an insult ever more dead on arrival. It's just the fact that Korn was tweeting, "Damn, Kanye's dead to me functionally, so he doesn't exist." And I can only imagine that rubbed Kanye all sorts of ways except the right one. His escalating antics of saying nuttier and nuttier shit have on some level always been a bid to get attention in whatever way he can, but there used to be some sincere belief behind it, and it had great art to accompany it. But now, the music isn't cutting it, the rage bait is kind of him retreading old ground, and he's just kind of saying whatever, no matter what it is, if it means he'll get recognition. More money might not do much for his ego, but I don't think he could stand the idea of somebody seeing through it and going, "I'm out on this one, it's not even worth it anymore." Who knows, maybe I'll be making part 3 years from now, or 1 week. I'm gonna wrap this video up here. If you enjoyed, not sure how you could, be sure to drop a like and subscribe with notifications on. Anyways, this has been Kwite, and I'll see y'all next time.